Okay, this week's in conversation we've got Braintree Town midfielder Alfie Payne. Hi Alfie.
Hello.
Right, we'll start off with the basics about you. So you're a 21-year-old. Where were you born?
So I was born in Norwich
Yeah.
and lived all my life in just a town outside Norwich called Old Cossey.
Uh-huh.
So that's where I spent all my life, yeah.
And who do you support?
I support Norwich.
Club.
Yeah, my family, all through grandparents, parents, everyone's on my dad's side of the family supports Norwich. So I've been brought up as a Norwich fan, yeah.
Brilliant. And then in my research it says you started playing for Norwich at the age of 12. No, you were there for 12 years, so it might be a bit younger, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was there for 12 years. So I was there, I've been going up to Colney, which is the training ground in Norwich, since I think the first time I went up there was 6 years old.
Right.
And then signed properly at under 9s, and when the academy officially starts, under 9s, and then was there until second year pro, so left at 20.
Okay, and you had a bit of success as a captain there at youth.
Yeah, so I captained the under 18s and 23s as I went through. I did a season when I was second year scholar. We did well in the FA Youth Cup that year as well, so it was good to captain them. Yeah.
And were you always a midfielder?
Yeah, I've always been a midfielder. As I'm left-footed, I've done a few stints as most left-footed players have at left back.
Yeah.
But always predominantly been a centre midfielder. When I was a bit younger, I used to play a bit more attacking, but as I grew older, dropped into a bit more defensive role. And now I'd like to think I'm a bit more of a box-to-box.
Mm-hmm. So it must have been a dream to join your boyhood club you supported.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, I've always dreamed of playing for Norwich. We got close, but unfortunately didn't quite get on the pitch. But got on the bench once at least.
Who were your players that you used to look up at the time when you were younger there? Who were playing for Norwich in those days?
Oh yeah, I don't know. When I was younger, obviously you had like Wes Houlihan was one of the main ones, and Grant Holt, obviously the captain at the time. They were like the two fan favourites probably of when I was most into going to the games week in week out when they were in the Prem and stuff.
Yeah. And who's had the biggest influence on your career to date and why?
Oh, that's a tough question. That I'm not sure there's one person like individually, but I think there's obviously all the coaches that I've worked with. I'd like to think that I've taken little bits from all of them. Mm-hmm. I try and listen to all coaches, no matter how old, no matter what age group they coach or how long they've been coaching for, because I think there's always bits you can take from them. So for example, when I was at Norwich, I'd go out and do extra sessions with one of the under 10 coaches for a bit, because I think everyone's got little different bits of information that they can give you. So I think it's good to get a all-rounded opinion from other people, and then you can hopefully improve your game that way.
Brilliant. Okay. And did you play with any of the current Premier League Norwich players?
Yeah. Well, obviously, I've trained with them all, but actually played matches with. I've grown up with Max Aarons, who's obviously playing right back.
Yeah.
For Norwich now, he was in my team he signed for Norwich at 16, so I played with him right through 16 to 20 or whatever, until he broke into the first team. And then obviously some of the other names that you'd know, like Todd Cantwell, I went to school with and played with him a few times. Obviously Adam Iders in the same team with a lot. Yeah. So all the younger lads I played with, like when I was younger, and then obviously the older ones, the more seasoned pros I've trained with, and taken little bits from them, but haven't actually played matches with them.
Then did you know Billy in your time, the goalkeeper here?
Yeah, Billy's a very good mate of mine.
Yeah.
He joined Norwich, I think 2 or 3 years ago now, and as the only boys left from Norfolk at the time, or he's just outside of Norfolk, but as the only boys left from the area, got on well with him, and we've stayed good friends since leaving Norwich. And obviously now we're car sharing down here together.
Excellent. And so after 12 years, you had to make the decision to leave. How did that occur? Was it a case of somebody not wanted, or?
Yeah, so unfortunately that's not my decision. I think it gets to a stage when you get older that you've got to go play men's football. You've got to go play first team football. Obviously, I would have loved that to be of Norwich, but the players, and the staff at Norwich didn't obviously think that was for me. So unfortunately, this happens to many players out there. Yeah. You get let go, and then you got to go into the real world and start fighting for your place elsewhere.
And so you found yourself at Kings Lynn.
Yeah.
So tell me about your time at Kings Lynn.
So when I was a second year pro, I wanted to go out and get experience with men's football. So I was looking for a loan move, and the gaffer at Kings Lynn, Ian Culverhouse, got me in.
Another Norwich player.
Yeah, ex Norwich coach and player. And he's done a great job there, and I played I played that season when we were in the Conference North. That was my first season in men's football, and we got promoted. It was obviously the season which COVID stopped, and it went to balance the points per game, and we got promoted. We won the league on points per game, so obviously that was a great achievement, and I was very, very proud to be a part of that. So to get promoted with a team from this league, obviously, well, the equivalent of this league, obviously isn't easy. So I think that was a great achievement. And then I played again last season when all the leagues finished. I went back to Kings Lynn and played there. Got I think 15, 16 appearances there again last year. After I was injured most of last year, I had an ankle problem, which I was out for 4 or 5 months. But got back in there towards the end of the season. Got some games in, which was very pleased to do. Yeah.
And did you notice any sort of differences in how the game was played at that level to what you used to?
Yeah, I think that there is obviously a difference from Conference Prem to Conference North and South. The teams there are pretty much all of them are full time.
Yeah.
So with that comes just the obvious things. They were more organised, slightly fitter. But no, I don't think we're a million miles off it here. And I think obviously the aim for us is to get them as soon as possible, hopefully next year. So So I definitely think there is obviously a step, just mainly through the fact that they're full time and they're organised. But I think there's it's achievable.
Yeah. And obviously you joined Braintree in 2020. Must be a fair way from where you're living. What was the attraction about Braintree? How did you end up here?
Well, obviously, manager has been really good for me. He's been very keen to get me in, and I felt welcomed and wanted here, which is obviously as a player, it's what you want to feel, especially after the last few seasons of COVID and things being all up in the air. It's nice to feel wanted and nice to almost have an arm put around you and welcomed in. So I think that's one of the main positives and one of the main reasons why I've come here. Yeah. Obviously, at this level, there aren't many teams near the area. So believe it or not, the teams in Essex are actually the closest team at this level for me. Right. So yeah, I think it's a commitment that you've got to make if you want to try and play football at the highest level you can. So and obviously, so far we've got off to a good start. It's a shame we haven't picked up a few more points where we've drawn instead of got wins. But I think we're definitely on the right path, and I've been enjoying it.
So you had the honour of scoring the first goal of the season as well.
Yeah, I did. I was very pleased to get that. I was I found myself on the edge of the box, nicked the ball in front of one of their players, and then next thing I know, I was in the back of the net. So I was very, very pleased to get that. Definitely.
So did you score most of those goals? Because you also got one like that in a friendly, didn't you? You put one in from distance.
Yeah, I think the one in the friendly was slightly more glamorous. Put one in the top corner in the friendly, which was even happier about. But I think when it means something, when it's obviously I'm always happy to score, but when it means something in a league game like that, and you put your team ahead, I think it's all the more sweeter, definitely.
Yeah, and you've already said you're box-to-box midfielder, but do you enjoy the different holes, the holding role, or is it you like to get more upfield and score the goals more? Which you definitely prefer?
Yeah, I would say I'm probably more naturally nowadays a holding midfielder over an attacking midfielder, but I've got quite good fitness. I think that's one of my strengths. Yeah. So trying to convert into more of a box-to-box midfielder, so I can get up and hopefully add goals to my game. Obviously, I've scored 2 now, if you include pre-season. So I'm just hoping to add as many goals as I can throughout the season and help the team really get those points.
Okay. And is this a stepping stone into progress your career? And what level do you think you can go to?
Yeah, obviously, while I'm here, I want to do the best I can for Braintree. But obviously, I've still got, as I'm young, I've still got an eye on hopefully playing higher levels. Who knows where I can get to? I have my own personal goals and where I want to go within myself. But I like to try and let my football do the talking, and hopefully that will take me where I want to be.
I mean, do you notice when you're playing with the likes of Todd Cantwell and Aaron's as well, there's just something a bit special that's going to take them that bit further?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think the players you end up, obviously there's a bit of chance and a bit of luck about getting your opportunity, but then when you get it, you have to take it, which obviously the boys have. And I think over a career, you end up where you're meant to be. So I'd like to. Obviously, they're great players. They're brilliant players, and what they've done is unbelievable, really. And I think it's fine margins from top to bottom. It's fine margins, but you can definitely tell the quality on players at the very top, like Max and Todd are.
So how does Ryan compare with the other managers you've played for?
Yeah, Ryan's very intense. he knows he's got a real desire to win, which I think is great to have.
And it's rubbing enough on the players.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. Yeah, it's I think he's installing parts of his game, or parts of how he wants me to play, and he's coaching me into it, which is helping me to develop a new side of my game, because I've always played like academy football in Kings Lynn, play nice passing football, and I think so far this season I've seen an adaptation in my game to really become more aggressive and more determined and improve myself as a player.
Yeah.
Which is thanks to the way that he talks to me and the way that he coaches me through it, which has been good, definitely.
I mean, I've noticed. I mean, you're not the tallest player in midfield, but you still get in there and win your fair share of headers and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, because I'd like to think so. As I say, I'll always give my all and always put my body wherever I can.
Yeah.
I'm not blessed with major height, but I'd like to think I can handle myself when I'm on the football pitch, definitely.
Good. Okay. So you've already mentioned, we've seen a real togetherness with this squad. So who are the characters? Who are the loudest players in the training room?
Oh, I think everyone's got their own little way of doing it. Obviously you got senior players like MJ and Preston, which stand out as players to talk in the change room, like more football wise.
Yeah.
But then everyone likes to have a laugh, and everyone likes to put in when they can, put in their little bits of banner when they can. Yeah.
Okay. And as we're talking, we've had a 4-game unbeaten start. You say we perhaps could have nicked a few more points with better luck.
Yeah.
What do you think the team can achieve this season?
Yeah, well, I think it's credit to how we've started is the fact that we're disappointed that we've had an unbeaten start almost, because we as a team believe that we should have had more points. Obviously, we've been winning every game so far, and unfortunately only managed to hold on to one of them so far. But I think it's good signs, and I don't see why we can't be up in the top half of the, not in top half, top echelons of the league by the end of the season. I think we've got obviously we've got a good togetherness, we've got good footballers, and we've got a good fight in us as well. So I don't see why we can't go all the way.
Brilliant. That's it. Thanks very much.
Perfect. Thank
Cheers,
you.
mate.
Cheers for that.
Thank you.